Oh my God! Don't get me started. I'm going to have to get myself a Jack Daniels, and then we'll really have an interview there. I was in the back seat of a car with a couple of them, and we were going down the highway in this near Ajo, Arizona, which is not far from the Mexican border, and we went into a fog, and the next thing you know, we went into a portal. My God, they don't want us to know about the Aerospace Command. Would you believe that? Trillions of dollars a year going off to a military command that the American people don't even know exists. It's not courage, baby. It's they rubbed me the wrong way. I got angry. That's why I sued the sheriff.
Hi, I'm Carrie Cassidy with Project Camelot, and we're here with Bob Dean for our third interview, which is going to be very exciting because Bob is going to pull out all the stops and tell us everything he's never told us. We'd like to welcome you, Bob Dean. We're here at Laughlin, actually, and it is February of 2010, just to mark the time, because after this, many things may change. Isn't that right?
They're changing every day, honey. And they ain't seen nothing yet.
Okay. So tell me, what is new in your world, and why is it that you feel that you can come forward at this time and actually talk about something that perhaps you didn't tell me in the last two interviews and feel that the time is right to talk about now?
I'm not at all sure the time is right, but I felt that I had to be candid and be honest about a part of my life that I had never shared before. I was a bit of a coward over the years, to be honest with you. I've had a personal, intimate relationship with non-human intelligence since I was 3 years old. And I became totally convinced and concerned and accepted and committed to the idea when I was in combat in Korea, when I was in combat in the jungles of Southeast Asia. And my life was changed, and my life was saved time and time and time again. Situations where I should have died. Situations where all my friends around me died and I didn't. I got wounded, but I'm here. And over the years, more and more and more, it became quite clear to me that something else was going on. And then after I went through a series of past life regressions a number of years ago, the lid was lifted, as it were, off of my little teapot of subconscious and conscious memories. And not only did I begin to not just remember, but in some cases literally relive events, things, happenings in other times and other places. And I think that series of past life regressions probably is what triggered full-scale memory realization of my intimate involvement with, as I say, non-human intelligence. But I've seldom shared that with anybody because, as you can well understand, in this world, in the United States, in the 20th century, and I'm a child of the 20th century. For good God's sake, I was born in 1929. I grew up during the Depression, so I'm a child of the 20th century. You just didn't come out and speak openly and honestly about something like this. To be honest with you, there were cases they could have locked me up, literally. And if I'd been candid about it and open about it while I was on active duty in the military, I might have been put under observation or something. But the people who are maybe listening and watching this, I'm sure understand exactly what I'm saying, because you just don't come out and speak openly about something like this to the public, because the public wasn't ready, and I've had misgivings whether the public's ready even now. Now, you and I have had a little difference of opinion on how aware and how prepared the public is to the reality of the extraterrestrial presence. For many, many years I strove to bring this out. I agitated in Congress, on the Hill, House of Representatives, Senate offices, to have hearings on the subject and to bring the whole damn story out. And then over the years I developed the attitude that maybe the people really weren't ready for it. And you are convinced that they are, and I'm convinced that some of them are, but I'm convinced that the masses are not. Anyhow, I love you dearly, and we'll disagree on that. And
Okay, well, so you have past life experiences, and you've
past
also
life
had
memories, yes, from
you've also had ET experiences.
many.
Since you were 3 years old, and I don't know that you've ever actually related the one that happened to you when you were 3. Do you want to put that down here, or do you want to go in a different?
Well, that was the beginning, and I'll touch upon it if you think it's pertinent. Yeah.
I think so.
Well, my dad was a railroader, and at that time we were living in Covington, Kentucky, and Dad was in and out of Cincinnati, and that's why Covington was an appropriate little place to live. And being a Pisces, I've always loved water. And the nearest water to where we lived in Covington was an industrial canal that had been dredged just about a block from my house for a foundry, where they carried ore into the foundry and then they carried the slag back and so on and so on and so on. Anyhow, this industrial canal was very steep. It had been dredged. The sides were very steep, 40 feet from the bank down to the water. These heavy ore barges were going back and forth from time to time. I loved to go down there as a little dyke and throw little pieces of wood into the water, and I'd throw pebbles on the, play my little games. Well, my little game got away from me one day, and I tumbled off the edge into the water, 40 feet down. A little play suit on. Good God, it's vivid like it was yesterday. And here I am, splashing around at the bottom of this wall of mud, striving to get out, clawing at the edges of this thing. And the more I clawed, the wetter it got, and the more slippery it became. And I'm soaking wet, and, To my 3-year-old mind, it struck me that this has been a short trip. I'm going to drown. I'm dying. I'm ready to go under. I kid you not. The 3-year-olds are pretty bright, pretty sharp, pretty perceptive. And here I am. I'm ready to go under. It's been a short trip. But at about that time, a powerful pair of hands grasped me from behind, got me under the arms, felt them. I can feel those hands even now. Lifted me up 40 feet out of that canal and placed me on the bank of this industrial canal. I'm soaking wet, I'm covered with mud. Nobody behind me. I mean, I'm in the water in the canal, and there's nobody behind me, but I remember this powerful pair of hands lifting me up and putting me on the bank. Once it dawned on me that there was nobody there, I don't know what really went through my mind at that time, other than the fact that I'm in deep trouble. I'm in deep doo-doo. Because when my mother would see me, I know she would know that I violated all of her rules, and I got it. I knew I was going to get it. Whack, 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 whack. She's crying at the same time she's whacking me, because she knew